Yo, what's good everyone? We're back with round 3 of this tournament slash the quarterfinals. We will be playing in the victory track nodes and we will be facing off against anon slash anonymous. Now, I don't ever play this guy in Battlegrounds, but he's very good. He really surprised me. You know, the last 2 matches I had, I won 3-0, so I was pretty confident going into this, but this guy gave me a bit of a rude awakening. You know, I wasn't expecting a free win at all, but I was not expecting this guy to play as well as he did, and it was extremely close. This match was so close, it could have gone either way easily. First match, we're facing off against this Enchantress here, and this is a very unlucky match, man. Like, I play this perfectly, I remove all her spells, right? So now that I've done that, I can go in for the kill with my big SB2. So naturally, I do that. But she decides to miss me because Enchantress is a tactic attacker. So she does have a chance to cause your attacks to miss. And she will be gaining that power gain. And that just makes much more of a fight, as you're seeing right now. If I landed that special 2, very good chance she was dead because, you know, pretty much nothing survives a Red Guardian SB2, and even if she did survive that couple heavy attacks afterwards, she's dead. But we started off this match very well, removing all her spells, but now that she's thrown a couple more special ones, it's getting harder and harder to keep up with her spells. You know, when you fight Enchantress, it's really easy to remove the first 1 or 2 sets of spells, but the longer the fight goes on, the trickier she becomes to fight. And unfortunately, I was not able to remove all of her spells, so she ended up reflecting that damage to me. I tried countering her heavy attack there, she missed me and slapped me in the face, so this fight is just going awfully. You know, a lot of people like to say Enchantress is mid, and yeah, if Enchantress has no nodes, sure, she's not that hard to fight, but add some nodes onto Enchantress, like give her a chance to miss, give her some power gain, and she becomes one of the best defenders in game, as a 6-star as well. This is only a 6-star Enchantress, and she is kicking my ass right now. Finally land my special 2, and it finally doesn't miss, but obviously we time out there, unfortunately. And he played perfectly, cooked my thing with domino. So yeah, I definitely could have beaten that. If my first special 2 didn't miss, I for sure would have won. That would have been like a 40-second fight, but we got pretty unlucky in that match. And now that I've lost the first round, the rest of this isn't looking too good because he has a Sasquatch who is a tactic defender. My best option for that Sasquatch is Penny Parker. Red Skull could also work, but it's very close to a timeout. Now, Penny is pretty good for Sasquatch. If you get good RNG, you just need Sasquatch to enter into his Wrath mode so he loses all of his damage reduction when you throw your special 2. But as you might guess, things don't go our way in this matchup. We play it perfectly, but we just get really bad RNG again, and this guy ends up playing perfectly. He's actually going to go for the win here. He's going to use his Shuri on the Red Skull, which means if it goes to next round, he's going to lose because he has no one for Domino. So he's going for the win this round, which is probably the smartest thing to do. Because, yeah, he probably knows that Penny is not going to get down this Sasquatch very easily. Now, this guy is a GT40 player, right? So he is a war player. So I'm kind of like playing him on his own turf right now because the current Battlegrounds node that we're fighting in is actually the war meta, well, the old war meta at this point. So yeah, kind of playing in his court right now. So he probably knows more about the nodes than I do because, you know, I haven't been playing war for about a year at this point, and I get out of victory track within 1 or 2 days, so I haven't really been playing this node too much, so my knowledge isn't as good on this node as it would be for other nodes, for example. So, you know, my strategy is probably a bit weaker than his, which is worrying. And this guy, you know, he plays pretty much perfectly every round, and I'm not gonna lie, that scared me because there's nothing worse than playing someone who you know is really good, but you have no idea like who their go-to champions are, who they struggle against. What do I mean by this? Well, I'd rather face someone like Barrow than this guy, for example, because Barrow, yeah, he might be a really skilled player, but I know which champions Barrow leans towards. I know which matchups he struggles in. I don't know which matchups this guy struggles in. I don't know which champions he's best with, and it's clear that He knows what he's doing. So basically, I'm a bit nervous in this matchup. I'm on ropes, but this Sasquatch is not going down. The reason that first special 2 didn't do much damage at all is because Sasquatch didn't enter into his Wrath mode. We got really unlucky because the way Sasquatch works, of course, is he has those Wrath charges. Each one grants him damage reduction. When he goes into his Wrath, he loses all that damage reduction, and all of Penny's damage comes off that special 2, so we needed him to enter into Wrath when we threw our special 2, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But we lose the first round, and now we're heading on to the second match. Now I'm going to place Red Skull on defense, he's going to place Killmonger, and I'm going to use Onslaught for this. Onslaught is a decent counter for Killmonger, definitely better ones out there, but he's really safe. He doesn't take any of that reverberation damage, and you know, it's about a 60-second fight if everything goes well. I know that if he plays that matchup perfectly, he's going to beat me, but I'm just hoping that Red Skull does something, you know, maybe he gets passive AI, maybe he messes up. But like I mentioned, this guy is playing extremely well, so that doesn't happen. I still don't have a Killmonger. You know, I have most 7 stars, but don't have a Killmonger, and he was one of the first 7 stars ever released, and I'd have to pull him twice to be able to rank him up. I would really like one though. He's a menace in the current Gladiator Circuit node, so if I pull one on Cyber, that would be great. I wouldn't rank 3 him, but I'd take him to rank 2 for now for sure. He ended up cooking my Red Skull with Starkey. Very unfortunate there. Now I'm worried now. I'm starting to get a little bit tilted, honestly, because I just was not expecting this level of gameplay. I was expecting him to be very good, don't get me wrong, but I just wasn't expecting this level. So now I'm going to place my Korg, just hoping that he throws this round, because he could probably go for the win if he placed the tumor and uses Onslaught for Korg. But luckily he doesn't do that. He places his Red Skull, who I'm going to Starkey. This is going to be a very fast fight, and he knows that. So he's not going to throw his Onslaught yet. He needs to save his Onslaught for my Atuma. So he's going to throw this round with Hulkling. I'm very confident that I'll win this round as long as I don't mess up, but I am very worried for round 3. I've heard this guy is very good with Joe Fixit, and he has that Joe Fixit for my Sasquatch. Not sure how fast he was going to do it. I was honestly scared that he was going to do some 40-50 second fight or something stupid with Joe, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Nothing really special about this Red Skull fight. The only thing you need to know is heavy counter Red Skull special 1 if you can, if he even survives enough to throw his special 1, because he's going to die so fast. Obviously you can't really parry him reliably, but I get really lucky here. Pretty much every single one of my parries land, and yeah, that's really lucky. Like, I've only got a 30% chance for my parry to work there, and it worked. So we get lucky for once, and that could have been a much faster fight, but I just played it safe because, you know, he's using Hulkling versus Korg, and that's a really tough matchup. So I'm pretty sure as long as I come out 100% health, that there's no chance he beats me. Now this last round, luckily he has to place first. If he didn't have to place first, then I would probably lose, because he could, if I had to place first, I would have to place my Atuma, which he could use Onslaught for. Then he could place his Atuma on defense, and Onslaught would be faster than my 6-star Negasonic. But luckily he has to place first, and he places his Atuma. Now I know I can place my Sasquatch because I don't need to save Sasquatch for his Onslaught, and our Negasonic is only a ascended 6-star, so you're probably assuming this match is going to be very slow, because a lot of you seem to think Negasonic has bad damage. This is by no means a nuke, but we get almost 50k points against the rank 3 Atuma with a 6-star. There's not many champions at all that can do that, and I think Negasonic's really underrated. I do have a 7-star. If I manage to dupe her, she will go to rank 2. Honestly, she would go to rank 3 as well. I think she's really underrated. And yeah, I'm still using the Ascended 6-star in my deck, and she still gets me plenty of wins. Use her against Korgs, Killmongers, and of course Atumas. I only think she will get less and less popular though, because, you know, Dazzler's coming out soon, and she pretty much counters everything that Negasonic counters. So honestly, I don't see Negasonic getting more popular. If anything, I see her getting less popular. But hey, I think she's really underrated, and I would definitely take her to rank 3 if I can dupe her. There we go though, just a little over a minute for a rank 3 Atuma. Could probably get 50k points if we just got a little better AI with the 6 stars. So yeah, that's a really good score. And he did do really well against my Sasquatch, 72 seconds. But luckily, we just outsped him there. But the second game goes to us. The score is now 1-1 and I'm very happy with that. I did not want to be 2-0 against this guy because that would just make me tilt even more. That would make me more nervous. So I'm happy we won this game and now I'm feeling more confident. I could have used Onslaught for this Atuma and basically got myself a guaranteed win. But I decided to use Sasquatch because I only have 2 defenders if I use my Onslaught here. So I need to save him for defense realistically. So I'm playing a bit of a risky game here using my Sasquatch. But if I can win this match, it will work out in the long run for us. Luckily, we go into Wrath at the perfect time, just as we get close to a special 3. So we drop a big SB2 there, landed a nice crit and another crit here to finish him off. Pretty decent score. It's like not quite 50k points, but almost 50k. CGR can beat that against Nick, but you know, you need good AI, you need everything to go perfect. So I'm feeling pretty confident here. I'm feeling pretty confident. And we do end up winning barely, just by a couple of points. It looks like he took a bit of block damage there, maybe from a special 1. Maybe Nick had my back for once. But now I'm confident for the rest of this draft because he only has 1 good defender. He's got Sasquatch. Yes, he has Onslaught, but he needs to use Onslaught on attack for a Atuma or Korg, otherwise he's definitely going to lose. So what I need to do is bait out that Sasquatch here, which I can see he's going to do. So I'm going to bait out his Onslaught by placing my Atuma and guarantee myself a win for the last round. Yes, he has the pig for defense, who is a solid defender, but Starkey nukes the pig in 30 seconds as long as you don't mess up. And it's not a hard match, it's not the easiest match ever, but as long as you can wallbank, it's a pretty easy matchup. So I know I just got to throw this round and I get myself a guaranteed W in the next one. Even though I'm throwing, still going to try in this fight in case he messes up. Because, you know, Onslaught is actually a pretty good counter for Sasquatch here. Even though Sasquatch is a tactic defender, we're not going to have our attacks miss because Neuroshocks stop miss. He is going to gain a lot of power gain and he is going to have that constant regen, but that's nothing Onslaught can't handle. For anyone wondering if I'm pushing this season in Battlegrounds, damn right I am. At the moment I'm 2nd in C4, which is 5th overall, so not doing too bad. I've had a nice little win streak and you know, I'm definitely going to be picking up some deals on Cyber to help out. So maybe this season is the season, but we'll see, man. Definitely going to push pretty hard. Honestly, I know I said I hated this meta, but after playing it more, I've been kind of enjoying it low key. I don't even want to admit it, but I've been kind of enjoying the Gladiator Circuit meta. Like the AI has honestly been pretty good recently. I've not had many bullshit AI moments, and the opponents are throwing their special attacks. I've not been eating special 3s. So for now, until the AI goes to shit again, I'm enjoying Battlegrounds. I'm enjoying it. Maybe that little 2-week break from Battlegrounds was all I needed. Maybe I was just fed up of the game mode because I've played it for so long now. Because yeah, I'm liking the Gladiator Circuit meta. I don't like the Victory Track meta, which is the one we're playing right now. Just because of that random ass miss chance. I'm still pissed off with that Enchantress fight that she missed me on this special too. But last round here, he's going to place his Piggy, who I know I can nuke with Starkey. That's why I saved Korg for the last round and not Onslaught. Because Silk can nuke Onslaught in around 30 seconds. And Kate is very safe for Korg. He has more of a chance of messing up to Onslaught with Silk than he has messing up to Korg with Kate. But Korg will stall longer. Korg will take at least 50 seconds to die, and I know this, so that is why I saved Korg for defense instead of Onslaught in the last round. And yeah, I pretty much got a guaranteed win here as long as I don't mess up. You don't need to build up to max poise against Piggy. He's got a pretty small health pool, so only around 6 or 7 will do just fine. And we just stun locked him to death, and now it's 2-1 to us. This is best of 7, by the way, so the first person to 4 wins will advance in the tournament, and I'd really like to advance to the semi-finals. You know, I want to do these tournaments, I want to do as well as I possibly can in them, just for the content, because these make for great videos and I know a lot of you enjoy them. Gonna be fighting a Joe Fixit here, which I was not expecting him to place Joe Fixit on defense, but you know, he can be pretty annoying with the block damage of the special one. And he can actually reverse your willpower healing. So if you're fighting Joe for too long, he's going to apply those petrifies to you, and you're going to take some damage. So although I was not expecting the Joseph Fixit, he's not too bad of a defender, but we nuke him because we're using the GOAT Weapon X. He can't reverse Weapon X's healing either, because Weapon X is immune to Petrify. Well, he's not immune to Petrify, he's immune to the effects of Petrify. 42 seconds, 100% health, but surprisingly, we almost lose this. He nukes my Iron Goat in 47 seconds with Starkey, which, damn, I was not expecting that. He almost beat me there, which really, yeah, at this point, you know, I realized that this guy is a very, very good player. But I've got him outdrafted here, I think, especially now that I've won the first round. I have to place here, so I'm going to place Domino. Try to bait out his Red Skull, because then if he uses Red Skull, he only has one good defender in Sasquatch. Mr. Sinister is pretty much useless because I have Howard the Cook and he will nuke that in around 30 to 40 seconds. I'm thinking of throwing this round with long shot. I don't think I'd be able to get Sasquatch down with long shot here, but I realised that if he wants to win, he can't use Red Skull against Domino. So that means I don't need to save my Starkey. So that's why I use Starkey here. And he's not going to use his Red Skull. You know, and that's the smart choice, because if he wants to win, he needs to save his Red Skull for defense. So even though he's very unlikely to win this game, and he's very likely to lose this game because of doing this, it's still the right call, because if he used Red Skull here, he would have absolutely no one for defense in round 3, and so he just wasted time because that's a automatic loss anyway. I'm using Starkey here. Now, Starkey versus Sasquatch, normally a great matchup, but Sasquatch is again a tactic defender. He's going to gain all that regen, he's going to cause my attacks to miss, all that nonsense. So this fight gets pretty damn annoying. It just goes to show though that Starkey can really do anything. You know, he has no business taking out these tactic defenders. But he's managing, and that is the story of Starkey. He just does things he's not supposed to do. If you're unaware about my opinion on Starkey, I think he's the best Battlegrounds attacker in the game. You know, you might be saying, oh, no, Juggernaut is, because he's faster. Well, no, because Juggernaut doesn't work in about 50% of the metas. Like, yeah, in the metas where Juggernaut works, sure, he's the best attacker. But in over 50% of the metas, Juggernaut straight can't be used. So how can he be called the best Battlegrounds attacker? He simply can't. Now, Starkey, on the other hand, he is good pretty much every single Battlegrounds meta. Since Battlegrounds came out, I can count on one hand how many metas Starkey hasn't worked for. It's less than 5. I promise you now, it's less than 5. On top of that, he's one of the fastest and most versatile attackers in the game. So believe me when I say Starkey is the best Battlegrounds attacker there is. Finally, Sasquatch goes down though, but my god, that was a lot of effort. That was a struggle. And he ends up timing out because Sinister versus Domino is complete ass. So we do end up winning this game. Now we are 3-1 on Anon. So I only need to win one more game to advance in the tournament. One more game. And Anon would need to win 3 more games to advance in the tournament, and he needs to win them all in a row. The odds are not looking too good for him, but you're about to see him make a bit of a comeback. Now, I got a bit of a bad draft here. I'm going to have to use Cap IW versus Sasquatch, but Cap IW is a tactic attacker, so I was expecting this fight to go pretty well. I was expecting around a 60-70 second fight, but of course not. My Cap IW just refuses to land a critical hit, so this takes a while. We are going to be looking at this Sasquatch fight for a while. You know, Cap IW is very similar to Red Guardian. If he crits, he has some of the best damage in the game. Some of the best damage in short fights at least. And he's one of the fastest attackers in the entire game if his SB2 crits. But if his Special 2 doesn't crit, then he's arse. Straight up, he's just arse. It's like he's a completely different champion if he crits or not. But the big difference between Cap IW and Red Guardian is Red Guardian gains additional critical rating for each debuff on the opponent, so he has a much higher chance to crit than Cap IW, and that's why Red Guardian is a much more popular champion. Cap IW just never crits when you need him to. Honestly, if Mantis is allowed to have a guaranteed crit special 2, I don't see why Cap IW can't. It's not like they would have to buff him. All they would have to do is release a relic to give Cap IW a higher chance to crit. Speaking of crits, we finally land a decent special 2, but it's way too late, man. It's way too late. We needed that special 2 about a minute earlier in the match. We almost timed out there. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, even if we played that fight. Well, no, even if we got perfect RNG that fight, it still would have took around 60 seconds at least, and we were not beating that score with Starkey. We were not beating almost 51k points there. If my Cap IW was rank 3 and we got really good crit RNG, maybe. But most likely, most scenarios, in most universes, we're not beating that. And now he's looking to place his Domino. I don't think he does that though, if I remember correctly. Who does he place? No, he ends up placing Red Skull. And this really screwed me over because I need to save Starkey for a Tumor and I need to save Howard for Domino. So that means I'm going to have to use Red Guardian on this fight. And you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with Red Guardian versus Red Skull? Should be fine, right? Well, no. Like I mentioned a minute ago, Red Guardian really likes to crit to deal good damage. And what does Red Skull have? A massive amount of critical resistance. So Red Guardian isn't going to crit often against this Red Skull, which makes our damage absolute arse. Now, if you do get lucky in this fight and your special 2 does crit, you can finish this fight really fast in around 30 to 40 seconds, but you need to be extremely lucky because you're not very likely to land critical hits against Red Skull. That's what makes him such a tank. He has all those armors, and normally armors aren't a massive problem because critical hits will bypass most armor ups. But he has all that critical resistance, so if you're not going to crit against him, you're not going to bypass all those armors, which just makes him a really tanky defender. You know, I've been hating on Red Skull a lot recently, but in metas that don't completely screw him over, he's pretty solid. He's a pretty solid defender. First hit of our special 2 did actually crit. We did get pretty lucky with that, but it's all for nothing in the end because you need the second hit of the special 2 to crit. And we could get lucky with our heavy attack crits. They still do pretty good damage, but we aren't getting very lucky with that at all. And this fight ends up going on for ages. I'm just going to fast forward through it. I end up eating a special 2, making some mistakes just because the fight was going on for so long. And I knew at that point I was going to lose anyway. If I could have just won that game, I would have advanced in the tournament. So now I'm a bit tilted. I wanted to end it in the last game because this guy, he's scaring me. So I really wanted to end it there, but unfortunately we can't. And now we have to play again. And if he wins this game, then it's going to go to the final deciding match, which I really don't want to do because you know what it's like if you've ever been in any sort of tournament for any sort of game. The final match, the deciding match where you have no room for failure, no second chances, whoever wins wins. It's always scary, it's always nerve-wracking, so I would have really liked to end it before we get to there. He's going to pick up his rank 3 Starkey, which was pretty annoying because that basically makes my Onslaught useless for defense, and I have no one I want to use Onslaught on attack for. I'm thinking about my draft very carefully here. I'm not too happy with it. Honestly, I should have re-rolled here. I should have re-rolled. I don't know why I didn't. The Negasonic was still a pretty good pickup though. We can use her for Killmonger, but it's not like I needed her. I could have just used Onslaught for Killmonger if I really needed to. He's going to end up re-rolling though, which was the right choice this draft there. Pretty arsed. I mean, Killmonger would still store me, but that's about all he can pick up there. He gets a Man-Thing and a Hulkling. Now, I wasn't too worried about this Man-Thing because I figured Red Skull would take him down pretty fast. You know, it's only a Ascended Man-Thing. It's not a 7-star, just a 6-star Ascended Man-Thing. I'm using a rank 3 Red Skull. And Red Skull's Nullify immune, so Man-Thing can't do any of that poison damage to him. He can't apply armor breaks to him. And you know, we've got the rank advantage. All our damage comes from shock damage, so we don't have to worry about Man-Thing's critical resistance. I thought this would be a really fast fight, but Man-Thing is a lot tankier than I was expecting. Well, the 6-star Man-Thing is a lot tankier than I was expecting at least. The reason I placed Nick is because I knew he was going to do that fight well, but I was confident I could outspeed him. But hey, I was wrong. I've never actually done this fight before, but yeah, I was just expecting this to be so much faster. Man-Thing, a thick boy, what can I say? Gonna drop my special 2 now when I'm close to a special 3, just so I can get my special 1 off as soon as possible to pause those shocks. And normally, you know, most fights I've used Red Skull in, special 2, special 1 will kill most opponents. But Man-Thing's still there at 50%, and I'm trying to go fast. You know, I'm running out of time. I need to get this fight done in under 60 seconds if I want to guarantee myself a win. And he's almost dead, but the shocks have fallen off. And now he's regenning up. He's regen back up to 10%. Now he's missing my attacks as well. And it's all going to shit. And yeah, at this point I knew I've lost this match. Dropped my special 2 there, hoping the shocks would just kill him in time. They don't, and we eat a special 3. Very unfortunate match. We didn't get very unlucky there. Red Skull is just worse than I was giving him credit for. Couple hits after that special 3 though, and he's dead. Didn't even need to hit him actually. He just died. And he did that fight very well, 58 seconds, so we did need to rush. If I could have just landed my second special 1 a bit earlier, maybe we could have won that. We probably would have, but I just wasn't able to get to it in time. I can see that he has no one for Sasquatch on defense, but I'm going to save my Sasquatch for the last round. If I make it past round 2, I've got a guaranteed win in the last round. So I decided to place Onslaught here and just hopefully I can outspeed him. If I manage to do that, pretty much guaranteed win in the last round. He does save his Starkey for the last round, but Starkey versus Sasquatch is not easy, as you saw this meta. So as long as I won this, I probably could have won the last round. He had Red Skull for defense, but you can do Red Skull with Silk. It's not the easiest matchup because, of course, Red Skull stops your stuns, but it's very doable. You just have to heavy counter his special 1 into Relic, into another heavy, into special 2, and that pretty much wipes out most of Red Skull's health. But Starkey versus Onslaught, pretty much a textbook match of Celestial plays at this point. I've done this matchup like a million times. Can do it in around 30 to 40 seconds, over 90% health. But I mess up my wall bank. I mess it up. I just dashed back a bit too early, and I get hit in the face. The rest of the fight goes perfect, but I know I'm going to lose at this point because this guy's playing well, so I know he's probably going to come out at 100% health. So even though I finished this fight extremely fast, getting hit in the face like a fool definitely cost me. And he ends up doing his fight very well. 45 seconds, that's one of the better Hulkling versus Onslaughts I've ever seen. Normally it takes around 50 seconds. So even if we played perfect with Starkey there, if we got bad Neuroshock RNG, we would have lost that anyway. But now we're on to the final round. This is the deciding match. Whoever wins this match will advance in the tournament. It is 3-3. Now he places his Man-Thing, and my best option for this is Red Guardian. Red Guardian is not that good for Man-Thing, however, though, because like I mentioned, Red Guardian likes the crit. And what does Man-Thing have? Masterful critical resistance. Well, he takes 75% less damage from critical hits. So this match is kind of cooked. It's more than doable. It's just not a fast match. The way I like to start this off is by letting Man-Thing heavy attack into my block, so that can break my shield and I can get the trauma on Man-Thing at the start of the match, because most of our damage is going to come from heavy attacks. The special 2 does not do that much damage against Man-Thing. Honestly, it might have been a good idea to go for a special 1 in this fight as well, just for the extra damage and extra critical rating on the heavy attacks. But I just thought spamming special 2s and heavies would be faster at the time. Even if we did go for a special 1, doubt it would speed up that much. Man-Thing's gaining all that regeneration, which really isn't helping as well. Luckily though, he hasn't caused us to miss yet, which is nice. We got fairly lucky with that. But very slow fight, 72 seconds, and of course he ends up beating us there. And now I'm very worried, but luckily he has to place first in the next round. If I had to place first in the next round, very high chance I just lose there. But luckily he has to place first, and he places his onslaught, which is exactly what I wanted him to do. So since he did that, I'm going to place my Nick Fury, and he's going to want to save his Domino, because if he uses Domino here, I can place Red Skull on defense in the next round, and that will pretty much give me a guaranteed win. So he can't use his Domino here. So he's going to use Sasquatch. And since he uses his Sasquatch, I don't need to save my Silk for Sasquatch, which means I can use Silk here and save my Starkey for the last round. And now I've saved my Starkey for the last round, I have 2 30-second fights, because I can do Domino in 30 seconds with Red Skull, or I can do Piggy in 30 seconds with Starkey. So thanks to him placing Onslaught, I have a much higher chance of winning now. He can still beat me because he has a rank 3 Silk, and rank 3 Silk versus Onslaught, that's about a 30-second fight as well, if everything goes well. My Silk is only rank 2 here, and you'll see it's a 40-second fight. If she was rank 3, the special 2 would kill, and it's 30 seconds or less. So there's still a very good chance he could beat me here. There's a good chance he could even beat me in the current match, because I'm getting terrible Neuroshock RNG. Look at that, I've got 7 Neuroshocks on me. That is actually so bad. That took so much health off me. 16% health just from Neuroshocks, just from bad RNG. So if he comes down 100% health relatively soon, he's going to beat me, and that's definitely possible. If you get good RNG with Sasquatch, you could do Nick Fury in around 50 to 60 seconds. But thankfully, I think Nick either went a bit passive, maybe he got some dodgy AI, or maybe he just messed up. Whatever the case, Nick Fury cooked, thankfully. But now we've won this, we're moving on to the very final match. This will decide who advances to the semi-finals. We both have nuke matchups. Both our matchups take around 30 seconds. It could really go either way. I'd say I have the easier matchup, but I think if everything goes perfect for him and everything goes perfect for me, he wins. But I have the easier matchup. So I'm going to place my Onslaught straight away. Can't place Red Skull, who would be the better defender, because I need Red Skull for defense. He's going to place his Pig, which is definitely the harder matchup between Pig and Domino there. And I'm thinking I need to rush in this matchup. So I'm going to play this as fast as I possibly can, whilst being as safe as I possibly can. I'm only going to build up to around 5 or 6 poise charges, because that's all you need for the Pig. And then I'm just going to go all out with the stun lock. There we go, 6 poise charge, and we're just going all out now. Gonna throw our special ones as soon as we get them, so Pig can't evade us, and just stun lock him to death. And this fight goes absolutely perfectly. Textbook Starkey fight. This is why Starkey is so broken. This is why he's not only one of the fastest attackers, not only one of the most versatile attackers, but he's one of the safest, thanks to that stun lock and that power drain of his. But we do end up winning. We're going to advance to the semi-finals. Massive GG's to Anon. That was so close. If you enjoyed the match, leave a like, subscribe if you aren't already, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.